This has been Strictly Ball Business.
Strictly ball business.
Strictly ball business.
I like that video.
Shit.
We're talking the Orlando Magic now, your very own Daltonian physics. We're going to predict where these guys are going to be 5 years from now. What do you think? I'm going to give you the floor here. I'm assuming you got a big ole,
I got a list.
encyclopedia ready. So let's hear it.
Yeah, I got a list of. So I do think I have a list of of all the player comparisons. We can get into the team as a whole later, but they do have a lot of young talent. Tell me if I'm being biased, but a lot of these young guys I really do think like matter and can do stuff. Like I think it's way too early just to say Jalen Suggs is just not going to be good anymore. I do think there's all things considered, he was a great defensive player last season. One of the best. He had the second best just overall defensive stats for all rookies across. So he did do well. Granted, he struggled so much on offense. My comparison for him has changed, and it's now Avery Bradley when he was with the Celtics. I think that's what he's going to be in 5 years. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. It's a huge that would be a disappointment. However, there's places for that on this team. Do I think he's on the Magic? No, I don't think he's on the Magic in 5 years. I'd like him to be. I'd like him to turn into that guy, but I don't think so.
I think if he's looking like he's not going to be better than Avery Bradley in his prime, then they get rid of him before year 5 because he needs a fresh start, obviously, if that's the case.
Yeah, and that's not the worst career in the world. Avery Bradley's had a decent career. When he was with the Celtics, he was a pretty good player. That's what justified the contract he got from I forgot where he went after that. It didn't matter, but
he was a solid player. 3-and-D guy, definitely gave them some solid years. But overall, I think if you're a top 5 pick in this draft, you have the pedigree that Jalen Suggs did coming from the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got to live up to more than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced he will. I do think we're past what the peak we thought he was drafted at. I don't think he's going to get there ever. I do think he's going to fit into a certain role. I do think he's going to be I don't think he's going to leave the NBA. He's shown that he's a capable playmaker, a capable defender. It's just scoring's just going to be so hard from him. Which, granted, if he can make a role in it, Pat Bev, people forget he's a super inefficient offensive player, but look at him. He's old, still getting contracts.
He's made almost $100 million in his career, if not more than that.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Exactly what it was.
But that Suggs. Cole Anthony, I've said it a million times. His player comparison, J Cap. I think he's going to be a great 6-man in this league. I think that's where he should be. I think he should stay there. He's shown that he's effective like that. I do think he's going to be on the Magic. I think they're going to give him some he's going to be rocking around 15 to 20 million, probably on a 3-4 year contract. I think they're going to give him that's the highest bench play, but I think it's worth keeping. I think this guy's going to be able to run a second offense. I think he's going to be able to play a 2-guard, possibly.
I don't think you should just let guys like him go because he could end up being better than Jalen Suggs even.
Yeah, I think he is better than Jalen Suggs obviously right now, and I think it's Jalen Suggs that has to catch to him. I still think he should be a 6-man, very Lou Will, like let a defender come out, play for 22 minutes, and let him come in, face some second tier offenses and stuff. But I think he's going to be on the team for 5 years. In the 5 years, Fultz is a big question mark. So I think there's a very real possibility he could still be on the team. I do think he's he's an awesome point guard, one of the smartest young guys I've ever seen in the league. He's just awesome. He's in the 95 percentile for finishing at the rim. That's one of the most underrated things people forget about him. He just hasn't been on the floor much. Assuming he can stay healthy, I have him with Lowry playmaking ability, but with light Westbrook strength and finishing, athleticism. That was my comparison, kind of a Lowry Westbrook split. I think if he can, I think he could be a starting point guard. We haven't seen his growth yet. His shooting, at least he's willing to do it. It's not like a Ben Simmons or Some people who are timid, when the shots come, he'll take it. He just needs to hit them at a more efficient clip. I love Fultz. I can't wait to see what he does this season. He started off great last season. His playmaking is no joke. He can be the starting point guard and run an offense on a good team. He did it on a playoff team when he was with the Magic earlier. So I have the utmost faith in Fultz.
Yeah. No, I think Fultz has a ton of talent. I think the only real question mark is if he gets injured again, which obviously we're hoping doesn't happen, but there's always a possibility.
Yeah. One person I don't have faith in, I don't think he's going to be on the Magic, is Isaac. I will say I think he can get to a Ben Wallace type of defensive ability. I think he can certainly get there. There's no doubt if he can just stay on the fucking floor. This guy is. I have no faith. Yep. No, I just don't know where his drive is. I'm granted we can't see his drive because he hasn't been on the floor, but he's been injured, and you can't. They can say you can't help that out, but I mean, I think there's certain rehab. Fultz wanted to get on the floor. I saw it on his Instagram, constantly posting. Even all of his rehabs or anything, and I'm just not seeing much from Jonathan.
He's more concerned with his religious views and
his stance and writing a book and shit.
Being anti-vax, yeah.
Either way, I don't see him on this team. He can get to Ben Wallace ability, and I think even default, any team would like to have what he did, even what he did the last season he played. But I don't think he's going to be there that often. Banchero, my comparison is a not fat Zion. I do think he can turn into the second best player on a team. I'm not convinced. I have to see him play in the NBA more to see that he can be a number one overall. But he's been great. He's been wonderful. I like to see where he can go. Zion at the very least. Zion less dominance, more playmaking and all around skill. I'll say. I think he's going to be on this team. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be the star player of the Magic for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's your guy. I mean, we'll see like who's emerging around him, but like they got a really good core, and he's a big reason for it. He's the top of the peak for him. So.
Yeah, just hit 50 points in that one side league or whatever it was. He went crazy.
Yeah, the crossover.
Yeah,
so did Jay McDaniels had 52.
Did he? Yeah, and Chet had like 34 or something. Him and Chet played on the same team combined for like 80 points.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I think you got an exciting young team there in Orlando, and I'm excited to watch them when they're good. We'll see how much I watch next year. I know you'll be watching.
Yeah, it's nice to see the development and see how they go. A lot of people are gonna watch Banchero and everything. The last two. Let's see. I just have two. I'll run by them. Is Wagner, Wiggins, Carter, Al Horford. That's where I think they'll be. Wiggins of this year. I think Franz will get up to there where he can be a solid scorer. I mean, he showed he can probably score 20 points mildly inefficiently. I'd like to see him more in a Wiggins role. He's a good defensive player. He could do both. And Al Horford, I think Carter's pretty close. He just has to get that playmaking up there, but he's already starting to spread the floor. He's improved every time.
I mean, Al Horford was like a star in his prime, dude. You mean what Al Horford's now is a 35-year-old?
No, yeah, as a star, all-star Al Horford. Beginning in the Celtics.
You think Wendell Carter can be an all-star?
I do. I do think he's already the best player on this Magic team. As of today, he's the best player on this Magic team. I mean, he averaged 15 points, almost 16 points a game just last season, efficiently. Like when you watch the games, he looked, especially last year, he looked like the only like consistent. Like you saw Franz struggle, but like every night Carter was doing fine. I think he's closest there, and I think honestly
he's like a star coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, but at the same time, he'll peak at All-Star is what I mean. I think he'll get to All-Star, he'll be fine. That's great, but I think that's fine. I think that's all we need him to do.
So can he get as good as Vucevic?
I think he can be better than Vucevic.
Whoa, he thinks he can be better than Vucevic. That might be the title.
We found our thumbnail. Yeah. No, honestly, I mean, like he's already better than him defensively. Granted, shooting, he still has something to catch up on. Vucevic was a very smart player, one of the best teammates you could ever have, and it shows on the court. Like everyone, nothing bad to say about Vucevic. That's why Zach LaVine asked for Vucevic when they made that trade. He's like, "Can we get him?" and because they realized he was available, and Zach wanted him because he met him and he was a cool guy. Granted, Vooch is taking some steps back, but I think Wendell Carter could be better than Vucevic. I'm not convinced he'll make more All-Star games. I think he'll have All-Star numbers. I think he'll have better career numbers and maybe better career success than 2 playoff series. I hope. Oh shit, I hope.
We'll
But,
see, man. But I
how-
think we've talked a lot about the Magic. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a little more here.
Got
How
some more
good
in
do you
ya?
think? Yeah, how good do you think they'll be though in 5 years? This team built around,
I
let's say,
think-
Carter, Wagner, and Banchero.
I think it's hard to say, but I'm thinking they're probably like a play-in team.
In 5 years, playing.
Realistically.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they add someone else, like if they get someone really good in the draft next year, I think I could see them being better than that. But
Yeah,
I think
I-
right now there's a lot of question marks.
I say in the 5 years, I had them around what the Raptors are, where they have just a bunch of pieces, a lot of good players. They're just waiting on either a number one, or they're just waiting on a lot of things here.
The
I think-
Raptors have players who won a championship.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not saying it's the exact same. I'm saying how good they were this last year. I say they're going to be very similar to this Raptors last year in 5 years, where they still have a lot to figure out, but the talent's there. They just need more. So
Yeah.
I see them around there. I don't see them as a contender or anything like we said with the
Yeah.
Pistons. We think the Pistons are going to be really good. I think they have a lot
Yeah.
of growth. I think they have the most collective young talent so far of all the bad teams we've gone through with the Pistons and the Rockets. So I'm super impressed to see where they
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they do definitely have a lot of talent. I think it's just a question mark in some areas. But I mean, if Wendell Carter gets as good as you think he's going to be, then they definitely will be a top 4 team. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we should move on. We talked a bit about your favorite team. Good times. We'll do it again, I'm sure. That's a wrap for us, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. We love talking about basketball, and you love listening to us. So it's a match made in heaven, I think.